Good morning. Just a rainy day. I thought I would punch this video out. Why I stopped working for Megastar Restorations and American Homes for Rent. Stop it, please. Sorry, that was my cat. Why I stopped working for Megastar Restorations and American Homes for Rent. No, essentially I got messed up down the road, and I'm glad I did. But of course there's regrettable portions of this. It was a good job because it was mobile, and you know, that was a fantastic thing to have. But it doesn't matter how good the job is if the boss is a complete, you know, asshole or cunt. And it's interesting that, you know, they're all the same, these psychopaths. They think their decisions are good but just harsh. That's how they'll brush it off. And it is a brush off, because you can do much better. You know, you don't have to be mean. It's not really necessary, right? You can just be logical. That's it. And I think in his rushing, the boss Gus, you know, postpones being very... I mean, he has logic and all that. I'm not saying he's illogical or anything, but he kind of goes too quickly without any feeling, and that's a type of psychopathy. And you know, I've met a lot worse people, and the guy helped me out and stuff, but it doesn't matter how good a job is or how much things made out of stuff someone gives you if they're still a, you know, an arsehole or a cunt, right? It doesn't matter. That's, I think, one of the main things of the difference between us and the spiritless or the soulless humans, or the NPCs. Right, there's a little bit of differentiation in there. We just sum it up as organic portals, and this is a real blanket term. I've got to start, you know, delineating each, because you know, it's not really teaching us too much, but the first basic. We have to delineate into the difference between soul and spirit and so on, but that's not this video. Look, the main reason I stopped working for them is because of this one guy, because of Gus, the main regional director. That's for Megastar Restorations, a vendor. We were vendors for American Homes for Rent. Nothing to do with American Homes for Rent. They were good people, they were nice. It was this guy. And he thought he could buy you, you know what I mean? He thought he could buy me. It's just all the stuff that we know about how, you know, organic portals act. He had too much of it going on. Way too much of it going on. And he is under Mammon's spell. Mammon, remember the 7 devils of the Ego Ethereum platform? Mammon is greed. Lucifer is pride. Satan is wrath. He's a bit of a Satanist in there too. Now, he told me a lot of things in this short 2 months that I was working with him, which I think is stupid to just blurt out. Like, he clearly has some high connections to, like, people in government here. And no, I'm not scared of the retribution. I'm sure there will be retribution to me putting this video out, his face and everything. But there's a thing, Gus, about consciousZine.net. It has less liability than your limited liability company. You know, it's Megastar Restorations LLC, limited liability company. Well, consciousZine, many people can log in, and you know, you can't always tell there can be multiple logins, and that's why I created consciousZine as well. That was part in mind, the limited liability of things that I could just write and be politically incorrect, but they've still put me as a domestic extremist, and we have the helicopters and the chasing and the planes and all that, the gang stalking. But yeah, I'm even less liable, Gus, so go nuts. Do what you think you can, because everyone always wastes their time with me, and it's only ever a waste of time chasing me. I'm like a phantasm. I'm a ghost shaman. Have fun catching me. The guy that lives in the trees. You'll have to line up to catch me or kill me. There's plenty of people in line. So anyway, I have no fear, and yeah, this is the guy, and you can see already, like, look what he's got on his arm. The fake smile there. It's like a quick smile just because you should smile for a photo kind of thing, right? And look there, it's a fucking death skull. I've talked about skulls before. And hold on, why is it not going back now? And you can see here, you know, look at that picture. It's like a bloody... Remember, I've talked about the white face and the Illuminati people and stuff? Well, Gus told me he's a Mason. He was the head of his lodge, in fact. They're Uruguayan and American people, this family. And I can see his daddy issues, how he'll ignore, like if I ask someone a question and they ignore me through a reply, through a chat, through real life conversation face to face, that's it for you. That amount of disrespect is enough for me to walk away because I know it's only a downhill path from the miscommunication. That you're not going to even reply to me when I've asked you something or said something to you and put the nose up in the air snobbishly. I can see that's what his dad did to him. I did meet his father. Clearly they're Masonic. You can just tell by the aura of the people, right? But he actually literally told me that as well. So they're actual Masons, and from that moment on, that was after the first month, he told me that in the first month, that I was already like downhilling on that. Then the main worker, Dylan, who does everything for them, and that's what they were wanting me to aspire to be like, and it's work after hours without extra pay and stuff. All I was getting was $30 a day, and right, the morning was busy for 3 hours, so it was essentially like $10 an hour, which is already shit, because I was yelling at people on the beach as a surf instructor at Gold Coast, Australia, for fuck's sake, getting $50 per hour, so, you know, $30 an hour. This was like training wage sort of thing, you know, the 3-month period before I'd get to allegedly double that, and it was gonna double, but that was a lie. Because, and I found this all out around the same time, the end of the first month, because Dylan told me he was only getting 200 a week, not 300 like they'd promised me. I was only on 150 a week to begin with for the first 3 months, 150 US. And so, you know, at that point, I mean, that's good money for Uruguay because it was US dollars and all that, but it's still shit. It was fine for me to get about. I could have lived in a better house and stuff, but it wasn't worth it, like I've said already. It's not worth how much stuff anyone gives you. They can give you $1 million mansion. Well, to me, someone who's a spirited human, you can give me as much things made out of stuff as you want. But if you're a piece of shit, you're still a piece of shit. I don't care. I won't ignore it, right? I know that the key to success is ignorance, right? That's why everybody who's, you know, ignorant in their job and ignores, you know, their conscience and so on, just has a good life, like physically, right? Has stuff made out of things. That's why I have less stuff out of things, guys. That's why I'm so light in this world, and I'm not matrix infrastructure. I don't have a house and so on. I don't even have a car anymore. I had 2 cars in Australia, right? I had a great time in Australia before I came to Uruguay. Anyway, back to the story. But you can see, like, look at his picture. What I've said something about the people with the white faces. They were doing it on Facebook. There was all these people, and they would come on painting their faces with the, like, the sewn up lips, the black lips, and then a white face. Those type of face paintings. That there was something sus about them. So it must be Masons. I don't know if that's Illuminati Masons. I think it's skull and bones, to be honest, because that's what it looks like, a skull and bones. And that's what he has on his arm here too. And we know that the Masons and the skull and bones are very mixed. So he didn't say anything about that, and I feel that skull and bones are higher than Masons. Masons is like societal level, like you can get in there, you know what I mean? But then it works its way up through skull and bones and Illuminati and all those other secret societies. So yeah, I think it was skull and bones based, and he started just putting these little pictures up. And, you know, this is while I've been told he was amazed, like he was telling me to my face one day, like he's proud of it and stuff, you know. They've got no conscience on what they're doing. They're proud that they're like elite psychopaths, these people. And they're completely dismissive. So yeah, he's completely an organic portal. And, you know, at the start, when I thought, oh, he's a great guy, he's giving me all this stuff, I realised very quickly after a week, well, it is just stuff. I'm not really talking to him that much. He was too busy, right? It's that type of neglect. That's his daddy issues he pushes on to his employees. And that part I couldn't deal with. Then there was the $30 a day. It was like just thinking about that little amount, right? And I thought, oh, that's fine if it doubles. That's really good money for here, actually, like 40,000 pesos a month it would have been at 300 a week. That was really good money. And I could have lived a life here just on that. Not YouTube or anything else I do, right? But just that would have been fantastic. But like I said, can't do it when they're an asshole. And it was against all my morals, so to speak. And yes, I understand, the myth of morality, but no. There's a type of, I get that idea of the myth of morality, but there is, if we don't have that, we just descend into the shadow. You must keep some morals, I believe. And I believe most philosophers would agree with me throughout time, right? You can tell by the way we speak higher, right? Well, I'm speaking morally, aren't I? And it feels higher, doesn't it? All right, so we don't need to go into a massive philosophical lecture on morals, but anyway. So you can see, like, what the fuck would you post that? Look at my status, my picture. You know what that is? It's a lemon floating in kefir, water kefir. That's life, baby, not death. Images like what he's shown there. Death on his arm, death on his picture. It just went against all my morals. And look, another one that he posted. Look, that's literally Skull and Bones in America. And you know what's interesting? I don't give a fuck that I'm showing you number, you piece of shit. You treated me like a piece of shit, so I do what I want. That's my message to Gus, because he'll watch this. Him and his family will watch this. I don't give a fuck. You're all psychopaths. Anyway, so yeah, have fun trying to get this video off Google. Nearly impossible. Yeah. It's an even bigger limited liability company than yourself, Gus. You're not the man of the world. That's how he runs the show. He's your god. You know what I mean? Because he's giving you things made out of stuff. And that's what he wants. He wants that type of energy. And all this accumulated to me getting really fucked up down the road on really good coca and wine. Some of the best wine I've ever had. A fantastic night. I got really slaughtered waiting for the food to cook on a slow cooker. The next day, I didn't wake up when Gus beeped out the front because we were meant to go to his house that day. He has a nice rich house and I knew it would be a great day, but I was slaughtered and I went, no, you know what? This is it. This is the day where I quit. And of course, the next, I was expecting to be fired. He said something about, we'll talk soon. And I said, oh, this is what everybody warned me about. And then he said, all right, that's it. You're completely gone. So I made it myself. I did it. I pushed myself in that direction. It wasn't just, oh, you're fired for misconduct or something. No, I pushed myself in that direction on purpose. That's why I said I quit in this video. Even though the last word from him was, oh, no one will help you from Megastar Restorations. And that was basically him firing me. But I said, maybe this is what everyone warned me about. All his previous employees warned me. They looked at me at the first week, I saw some in the grow shop where I met this guy, in the cannabis grow shop in town, and he just happened to stroll through and offer me the job. Anyway, and one of his past employees came through there and was like, oh, you're working with them? With that, that tone, I'm like, yeah, it's all right, why? And he just looked at me ugh, well, they're disgusting. That was the look, you know what I mean? He was trying to convey their psychopathy to me. He's like, you'll find out. It was all in one look, right? He's like, oh, this is one of his past employees. And Dylan, the main guy, he'd already been fired or whatever and ejected and then brought back in. Now, I told these guys, you cannot recall me like you try to recall all your past employees. And why is that? It's because this guy runs a show like a fucking madhouse. And he's a mad cunt. He just talks down to you, belittles you. There's no need for any of that psychopathy. That's pure psychopathy, Gus. It's not being harsh. It's psychopathy. You're a psychopath, mate. Look at you. Look at what you post. The whole world's going to see this now. It's proven. Look at this. I didn't make this picture. I'm not making these pictures. Look what he posts. It's just the height of psychopathy, right? And he wants you to reply like every minute. You have to be like replying in the groups. He's an absolute nut. I get it for operational flow. I've studied business, but the way he does it is again in the arena of psychopathy. Often it's not needed. And look, it talked down. It's like talking to a little kid. Like this was a day that I had to update the schedule, and they wouldn't tell me where I had to get the information from. Like, what do you want in the internal notes? I'll write your internal notes for you, but what do you want in there? Where do I gather the information? What exactly do I write? And no one would tell me. Oh, we're too busy. Fuck off. We could take 5 minutes to put a little list, and indeed it took me an hour. And I created a list just guessing, and he said, yeah, that's good. So why couldn't he just take 5 minutes? He knew what he wanted in there. Do you see what I'm saying? Instead, they want to like make you feel less. So that air was enough for me to quit and slowly disassociate from the organisation in the second month. And the main thing was that they lied about after the 3-month training I would get my double pay, like I would get 300 instead of 150 a week. It was a lie because Dylan's been working there for a year and he was only on 200 still, and he does everything. I mean, the guy is so quick, and he's there like just all day, from the morning to in the night at 8 at night, right? And he's only getting 200 a week. It's because Dylan is in the position he has to do it, and I wasn't. I'm a YouTuber, I have conscious zine, I could walk away. Dylan, this other guy, is a good guy, but he has problems with gang stalking, by the way, which is interesting. I won't go into it. I'll keep that guy's privacy because he was a good dude. Anyway, you can see like how he talks down to you, and then also he's asking stuff. It was ridiculous. And I don't know if this was a smart ass comment or what. I think it was. Let's wait as we're able to get more work done. And it would just say stupid stuff like that. Right? But what's all this? Look at all this, right? If my words aren't enough, what's with all the death symbology and evil symbology, right? So you're exposed, Gus. You're a nut.